There we are. You all set?
Yes.
What's up, everybody? It's the Making Geeks podcast for makers, dads, and geeks, episode 185. Hey, how's it going?
Good evening.
Hey.
Hey, before we get too far into anything, I just want to say happy anniversary.
Mm.
4 years.
It is.
4 years. It was June 6th. We forgot to mention it last week, but we've been doing this for 4 years.
Man. That's crazy.
Yep. Go to our website and just scroll through 185 of these things. Well, 185 after this episode. Over 185 hours of us just babbling here.
I was trying to think back of all the silliest places I have sat and recorded this podcast.
Mhm.
It's been in like several different houses that I've lived in. Many places in the RV. That one time I had to sit in the like snack bar lounge in that hotel. And
I
I was
recorded
passing
in quite
out
a few
candy to
hotels
people.
too, yeah.
That was a good one.
Man.
Good times. Good times.
Yeah.
I think we've done a lot in those 185 episodes.
Yeah, before we started recording, we were just talking about how we should have been hanging out in Maker Faire already.
Yep.
4 years.
It's weird how that comes as like a really important break or like recharging in the year.
It was like a milestone. Yeah. Recharge. That's true. Reconnect, recharge.
Yeah. And seeing each other in
no
person
way
helps.
that would have happened. Do what? Sorry.
No, just that seeing each other in person, that one time a year, even though it's only, 2 or 3 years now, what I think meant a lot.
I like how we have established like a fun breakfast routine at a restaurant in the Bay Area of California that none of us live. Getting to see everybody all over again every year that we see constantly on the internet, but we can hang out in person.
Yeah. I think everybody needs their own kind of Maker Faire, make the world a better place.
Yeah. Yeah, because I haven't been to like a woodworking show in a very long time.
Yeah.
Well, relatively long time. We talk about been doing this for 4 to 5, maybe 6 years. Like the woodworking show used to be that thing, and that kind of fell away. Yeah, I miss Maker Faire. I miss it a lot.
I think we talked about it before on air, but there was, and Wes, you were there, so you could give the details. I don't remember where it was, but it was a woodworking show somewhere where they were doing some sort of giveaway, a raffle, and Steve Ramsey was, I think he was kind of like MC the thing.
Yeah.
And I think Izzy was there and a bunch of other people.
Yep.
And I remember watching it from home and just feeling so envious of how much I wanted to be there and be part of that group. And then a couple of years later, when we're at Maker Faire, and people are watching us and saying the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I know how it feels. I know how it feels.
You definitely feel left out when you see all that. For sure. Like the kid that never got picked on dodgeball, like, ugh.
Remember Wes and I met for the first time at one of the woodworking shows?
Yep.
I had no idea what was going on in that place. It was at some restaurant. I remember where I was talking to you online. They're like, oh, just come hang out at the restaurant thing. There's all these like super popular people that, when you're new to the maker community, are these like massive figments. And all I knew was Wes Wayne. I barely knew Wes.
Yeah.
And you stood there with your gimbal and you're like, oh, let me walk you around and introduce you to all these people that are now like these celebrities in your mind.
That was the same one where Andy Berkey was at, right? or no? I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Andy. Andy's such a good guy.
He is. He's putting out some good stuff right now too. I think mainly on Facebook, but I always love what he has to say too. Good guy.
So I'm really glad I didn't pursue it any further than I did this year in particular. That would have been pretty terrible. But I'm trying to schedule a making it tour, so we can take like a little the making it 100 thing that we had in Boston, a mobile, not really mobile, but like a traveling podcast kind of demonstration, kind of meetup kind of thing. I had talked about it with Bob and Jimmy and David, and they were all for it. But that was late last year.
Yeah.
If we had tried to do it this year, that entire thing would have went
Collapse.
completely ruined, and we would have been bankrupt. But like maybe doing like a 4-city tour where we can try to bring little elements of those like woodworking show, Maker Faire type things to centralized hubs where people are.
Yeah.
And encourage them to like create that space whenever the show leaves. But we could try to bring that experience kind of to people where they are. And I was really, really excited about it. And I really hope maybe next year or the year after that, like, I don't know when concerts or gatherings or things like that are going to be, people are going to feel comfortable enough, like being comfortable at them. Like not even comfortable enough just to attend with like spaces in between the seats, but like to welcome each other and to be that close and share stories. And
I mean, just the norm of a handshake could be forever erased. Really?
Well, we're gonna have those the to meet arrested baby hands on the ends of sticks.
There you go.
Hold them and shake.
Man, that was Workbench Con was the last thing.
It was right before it. It was just starting in Washington at the time.
That was February?
Yep.
Man, we were on the cusp of that one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really glad that happened. We got to form really cool relationships with like a whole new group of people. And I think that's the most encouraging part of it. Like, there are some staples at Maker Fairs. Like, if you're in the Maker Faire at all, like hanging out, eating paella, going and walking around, checking out the cool things, talking to some of the people that you know, but like there's always new clusters of people that you learn and you hang out with, and then you end up sharing a random meal with, and that circle of influence constantly gets bigger, and the world around you gets smaller. And I really hope that we can do that again.
I'd love to kind of propose ahead of time that Ontario, California is a great place to meet. Got a convention center a mile away from my house. It's not LA. It's right next to the airport, and there's a Rockler 2 miles away. So we could have them sponsor the event. There's even fishing, a mile away too.
For our 200th episode, that sounds good.
Done.
200th episode celebration. Like we had tossed around some ideas. Like just before they are here, like all 4 of our families get together. We always said that would be awesome to do, actually make it happen. And then any people that want to come cook out with us, if you're in the area or want to fly in, make it so it's doable. That would have been awesome. Little did we know that was not going to be even feasible.
Yeah. Man, if we had like a little mini festival kind of thing, I'm trying to think what that would even look like.
Yeah, so rent out a park space.
I would hire somebody to be at the Dungeon Master and just have like a massive D&D battle.
Oh,
I think that would be fun.
Done.
Have 3D printers and like a little cosplay section going.
You'd have
the
3 pillars, right? You'd have the dad section, so we get some like sponsors from like fatherly.com or something.
Get your butt paste.
That's right.
Yeah.
Bordeaux's butt paste,
Free butt paste.
Yeah. Drink station. Sponsored by.
Silicone rings and 3D printed pens. And
That's right. And they have the geeky stuff on there with the D&D. It'd be awesome.
I'll have my Groots and Yodas for everybody.
So we just need to like coincide with a Renaissance festival and just hijack a corner of the festival for our own.
I got a Renaissance fair that happens every year by me.
Yeah, Broken Antler Workshop in the comments of the video stream. He says LARPing, so he was right in sync with us right there. Yep.
And you have to make your own. That's the requirement.
My wife and I have a vacation coming up next month. Did I tell you guys that she went on? I don't remember if we talked about it on the show how in February, like right after I got back from Workbench Con, she and some friends went on like a mom's trip or a girls trip down to St. Thomas for pretty cheap. And those tickets have only gotten cheaper. So for my birthday next month, she's actually treating me to a trip to St. Thomas. And I am very much looking forward to that. So I miss the beach. We haven't seen the beach in a while. And since all the other trips that we had scheduled this year all went in the pooper. Need some travel. I think it was Maker Central got rescheduled to, I think, March of 2021. I think. But like, talking to Bob, that whole place, he doesn't know if that's soon enough or if that's too soon.
Yeah.
With like the size and the density of people that come to that thing. So I don't know.
Yeah, they're just the response to this is such a
Make.
Like, yeah.
Make said that they were trying to schedule like an actual Maker Faire in the fall, but I haven't heard anything else. I don't see that as really being that feasible.
Why we haven't heard anything?
Yeah.
And for everybody trying to do like digital festivals and stuff and online, it almost feels like salt in the wound a little bit.
Well, along those lines, with like late night TV shows trying to record from their homes, have you guys watched any of those shows?
I've watched a couple.
Like Jimmy Fallon and Stephen Colbert show
Yeah,
and Seth
I've been watching
Meyers.
them.
Like,
Yep.
Do you get the same enjoyment out of it now that they're doing it at home?
I think they had a different. I think they had a different flavor. They're kind of like a different. They embrace the things that made it weird at first, and they kind of like leaned on them as sort of like reoccurring gimmicks in a way. Like Seth Meyers struggled for the first week. He kept like doing it in this super echoey location in his house. It was horrible. Like you could barely hear him. It was so bad. And eventually he settled on doing them in his he has like an attic space that has like one of those, couple of those like half high like hobbit door kind of things, into attic storage areas. And he set up just a couple little set pieces in the shot. He would have like this one novel as like a little set dressing, and then people would write in like asking like what's behind the door or what's up with that weird book, and then he would like use those every time, and he would like address things like in the comments like, oh, you might be wondering what happened to this book, and like he got his art department to change the covers, so in between segments and like cuts and stuff, it would like the name of it would change. So if you're like paying attention, and then sometimes like his kids would pop out of the door behind him, dressed as like some character that's relevant to whatever bit he's doing. And then he did this one other bit where, there should be like a cymbal crash for like a pun or a joke, and his like little toddler son would run in there and like, tuk, 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 like super terrible timing. He's like, oh, that's a great hi-hat, buddy, and all this stuff, and it's just they're like playing into how it was different. So I thought, I think if they were trying to recreate it at that caliber, with it wouldn't have worked. It would kind of fell flat. But I think they were kind of embracing, at least the shows that I've been watching. I thought they did a good job. Even the SNL, like they kind of, it's different, but I thought the stuff they were able to do was pretty clever. Considering.
Yeah. Sean, what were you saying?
I forgot.
Yeah.
I have that tendency to do that to people.
I'm curious about. I have heard other people talk about it. Matt Pat had a whole video that was talking about it. A lot of the late night people initially had problems because they were the writing that they were using was still meant for a live audience. So they were pausing in weird places, and there's no response for you to, when you're watching. But I'm really curious to see how, what the difference is in their profit, like their revenue stream.
Yeah.
Is there, with doing such a small scale production and cutting so many people out, which is, kind of horrible on one hand, are they making
Bank
more
on YouTube? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what that looks like, because I don't know what
I was
they're.
wondering that too. Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder comparatively what their numbers were. Because normally for the actual broadcast, they would just cut it up into chunks, and each one of those successive chunks would get, quite a few views. So out of one show, they could get 4 videos, all
Millions.
with like 1 million and some change views a piece, which is really good. But you still have sponsorship money and the stuff that they would get from the networks. I don't know if they would. I mean, a lot of the crew would be union workers, so I don't know if they would have lost their jobs or whatever because of the setback. But like, yeah, Wes, you were in the audience. The audience doesn't get paid.
No.
I mean, they're still paying rent on the space. I don't know if the costs to do the show would be any different. Oh no, I watched the Colbert Show a couple times when he was from home, and yeah, those awkward pauses, like, made me very uncomfortable and made me very sad. And I saw something the other day on TV. There was like a soccer game that was being televised, but there was no one in the crowd. I'm like, this is dumb. I don't want to watch this. Like, if there's no one to respond to what's going on, it all seems kind of like practice.
Right.
And
it's funny when you watch some of the late night hosts or some of the people that do this professionally on like network TV, and you realize that one of the biggest problems that they have is that they're delivering everything just isn't fast enough because there's so many pauses built in for the audience. And you start realizing really quick why YouTube videos are made, why they're made, in order to hold the attention span of the audience, which is really fickle anyways. So I wonder if there's, on one hand, a better understanding from some people of why YouTube is the way it is and why content is the way that it is on that platform.
Yeah, I think the very structured, like, here is a setup of a joke, here's the punchline of a joke, here is another setup of a joke, rather than it being just a, like, if you watch John Oliver, like John Oliver's show, I think transferred really well into like a web
Wasn't
exclusive.
much difference. Yeah.
Yeah, because he's continually talking, interjecting jokes, appropriate or inappropriate or whatever they whatever they may be, but they're in line with a narrative, with a continuing story. It's you're not setting it up so that someone else can spike it, and then you pause for laugh, pause for laugh, pause for laugh. Hey, I got another friend this one time, and it's like they're giving, like, you're the bartender of a comedy club that no one else is sitting in the audience. I was like, oh, but that's good to hear. I stopped watching them early on because it made me feel that way. So it's good to hear that some people are adapting to it and kind of leaning into it, to where it may seem a little bit more personal because it's a little more relaxed and in a relaxed setting. I think Bon Appetit did really well before Bon Appetit imploded on itself with a bunch of self-righteous and racist people that were allegedly working there, and like the editor-in-chief of Bon Appetit stepped down, and people weren't getting paid for their airtime. Like, the people of color weren't getting paid when the white chefs were getting paid for their videos. And so a bunch of people, all the like star chefs are like, I'm not going to make any more new content because they're all like independent contributors. And so they claim that they're not going to make any more content until stuff gets better. And Bon Appetit and all their social media has tried to like show that they are changing, but there's been no new content. But their at-home series, I think, was really fun because some of the people are really eccentric and fun anyway. And then, like you talk about Seth Meyers' kids walking in, or Brad Leone, like his kids would walk in, and the rapport they had was really fun. It was like another character in the show. And that was some of the most fun, just flat out YouTube content that I had seen, let alone an adaptation from a normal production. I think it did a good job. Hopefully they'll come back soon once they get all their crap figured out. They pay people appropriately.
Dramatic pause.
We're pausing for laughter.
Yep.
Now a word from our sponsor.
What have you guys been up to this week? Anything special? Anything new?
My air conditioner froze up a couple times, so I had to thaw out a huge block of ice in my air conditioner. That's my first like homeowners woe related to the AC. My AC, the other house I've ever owned, I was in Washington, didn't have one. And so every house I've rented has just like had air conditioning, and I didn't really have to worry about it. So this is the first time that I've ever had to worry about this.
Yeah. Let's see. I got a new keyboard, so that's exciting. That's the highlight of my week so far, I guess. Let's see. Let me look at the date. Last week was my birthday. Yeah, I got a new keyboard since then. That's pretty much the highlight. I ordered a new laptop, or a laptop. It's new for me, I guess, as well. I ordered one before in March. Didn't get it till like May from Exotic PC, which no one ever shopped from them. They're horrible. Returned the thing after much effort, and now I've purchased, and the other laptop, the new replacement laptop from a different company should be here Tuesday, so I'm very excited about that. And it's the first laptop I've owned since I was in the Navy. I bought one at Radio Shack when I was in Pensacola, Florida, at the mall in 1998, actually. Yeah.
The Cordova Mall?
Yep, Cordova Mall. Yep. In my dress. I don't know if I was in my dress. Blues. I would have been in my blues because it was after September. Yeah, because at first we couldn't wear civilian clothes off base until you like got a certain level of liberty permission or whatever it was. Yeah, and that thing, I had that laptop for such a long time. Friendships were created over that laptop, playing games. Like one of my best friends, Travis in Wyoming, him and I became friends. We were stationed together in the same squadron, but we would hang out playing StarCraft over dial-up with that laptop and his own laptop. Man, it's good times. I brought it on my cruise on the aircraft carrier. Fell asleep with it while I was like working on something at night. It fell off the rack, 3 racks high, onto the ground, and like broke the hard drive inside. And I had to order a new hard drive while at sea. And like, yeah, that was fun. Try to fix a notebook while deployed on a 7.5 month deployment. Played StarCraft on that thing. Man, good times. I still got it. For a long time, up until a couple years ago, it would run our Christmas lights. I had like those what was it called? I can't even remember now. It was like a system you would hook up to your outlets. XCOM? Or no, that's not right. It was a protocol. You would have an outlet box, and it had a transmitter or receiver like somewhere else in your house, and it would send signals through the power line to whatever device. You know, that's antiquated now with all the wireless everything. You know, Philips Hue, this and that. But for like a decade, there was nothing comparable to that, and so it was pretty sweet to have it go on and off and control it throughout the house. It was a novelty for sure. So yeah, I'm excited. It's a long time coming to get another laptop. I think I've paid my dues. Ever since then, I built my own and have not paid for another company manufactured computer since that laptop actually. It was a Compaq Presario. Actually got it right here. Let me just pull it out for a dramatic effect. For those at home, oh man, this thing is dusty, sawdust. Look at that beast.
Wow. It's like a briefcase.
It's even got a parallel port adapter, and it's this adapter that I purchased several years ago. The other side of it's stuck. It hooks up to a Game Boy camera or a Game Boy printer. You could like get pictures off. Yeah, this is a briefcase. Indeed, this thing is like, how many inches is that? Jeez.
Looks like it's good, like 7 pounds.
It's like 3 inches thick. All right, that's enough nostalgia. What have you guys been up to?
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people talking about, because of the somewhat enforced downtime, things they picked up or things they start doing that they normally wouldn't have done. And my family and I have been getting out a little bit more, or at least trying to, especially because of where I live. Part of the quarantine's been lifted, so we've been trying to get out a little bit more. And I've lived here for, I think, 11 years where I am right now, and we're only about 15 minutes away from the mountains. And just yesterday we went to the mountains for the first time, that are right by us, and went hiking. And might go again tomorrow, give ourselves a little bit more time and try to explore a little bit more.
Was it crowded?
No, not at all. There were some people kind of, because there's a mountain called Mount Baldy by us, where people go and ski, and that's kind of the route that people were taking to go up. So we're not that familiar with it. We went up there, and there was maybe 10 people out on the trail that we were walking. Some people were in the stream, just kind of like enjoying the water. We're just kind of exploring. We might go back up there tomorrow and see what else we could find, any kind of cool stuff. But it was nice kind of being out and just being away from everything for a while. No phone, no social media. There wasn't even any cell connection where we were, and it was nice.
We got a lounge raft for our pool. And so the last couple mornings, my daughter will always get in that water, no matter how cold it is. So she and I will go out and go jump in the water before everybody else kind of wakes up and is around, and teaching her how to swim, and she's doing a pretty good job. And eventually she'll get tired, and we'll just hang out on that raft and do the what shape is that cloud? What do you think about this? And looking at airplanes. And I love being near the water. And so being in Kentucky, having a pool in our backyard, as much fuss as it causes sometimes. We did the big landscaping project, so a lot of those fusses are gone. But man, it is well worth the work and the money that we put into it, because just there's always something to do at our house, and it's a gathering place for other people. And I read some articles that coronavirus can't live in chlorinated pool water, so send all your kids and let them play around in there, and then they have a much lower likelihood of getting sick. I don't know. It's really nice, and to have that kind of moment with my kids to teach them how to swim, and it's been really relaxing and really peaceful. And we started a thing at work because we're back to work together, but because we have been apart for so long, we're able to shake up our schedule. We don't necessarily have to be at Bob's house the entire time. There's a lot of stuff we can do remotely because we did it before. Wednesdays are my personally really busy days, because I have to get video ready and I have to do a lot of copy, and I have to get a lot of linked products and a lot of stuff where I'm just staring at my computer, ignoring what's going on anyway. So we've been able to pick a day where Anthony and I work from home, so that Bob can have some just time to himself in the shop to do whatever he wants. So that's been super cool. We instituted that this past week. So I got to swim a lot longer, and then come down here and do my work in my slightly damp board shorts with my cup of coffee, and just be around and be available, and then still get to go to work the rest of the time. So have that really cool interaction time. But that new blended schedule we're able to have is so neat. And I'm truly blessed to be able to have one of the coolest jobs on the planet, but then to make that cool job a little more open. It's a blessing. But Donovan's here.
Hey, Donovan. Welcome.
Hey, buddy.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So my mic
So what
starts
have you
working.
been up to?
We're good. I've been building a playhouse.
Been
It's
following
been,
along with it.
Hmm?
How's it going?
It's going. I had all day Saturday and half day on Sunday to work on it, which was fantastic to have that much time to work on something. And so my parents came down because they wanted to help because, it's part of their contribution to his birthday is helping to build this playhouse. So we built the frame of the playhouse, started to put the plywood on the outside, and by that time we'd ran out of time, and so all this week, whenever I get 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there, I'll go out, cut a couple boards, go out, screw some boards together. So in the few days that I've been working and taking care of kids and having a family and doing the dad thing, I've been able to get the little frame for the awning on the side and what will be the grass overhang on the other side. It's a slow process during the week, but hopefully this weekend it doesn't rain. It might rain, but I hope it doesn't. And I can knock out a lot more over the weekend. But it's been fun. People have been giving me ideas on you should do stucco on the outside and using particular kinds of foams to make fake rocks and whatnot. It's been really cool having feedback from people who know more than I do how to make stuff.
There's also a texture spray that you could do over whatever the material is, and then paint over that to kind of fake the stucco too if you want.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's a good idea. Rather than actually doing stucco.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was thinking about it, I'm like, stucco would be cool, but yeah, that would be a lot better. Do you know what it's called?
Texture spray? I don't know. I don't know the name.
Oh, okay. I'll have to look it up. Yeah, and there's so many ideas I got going. My boss got that the iconic CNC, and so when I get chances on my breaks or on lunch or something like that, I'll run over there, and I've been trying to figure out how to get the computer to talk to the CNC to be able to cut out Majora's Mask, and I've been botching it so bad because when it renders out and it shows you all that this is what the CNC is going to do, somehow between the drafting process and the I don't know what the engraving process, whatever, however you set up those steps, I do something and it'll only be the top nth of the thing, or the bottom half will be gone, or the horns will be at an angle, and I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah, me and technology need to get better. I need to start, I don't know, dating technology or something like that to try and improve my relationship, because we are on very rocky ground at the moment. So many things going on. I feel like I'm too busy.
There is one software package that should be able to help you with all of your woes.
Are you talking about Fusion? I've been using Fusion. Fusion is what I've been using to put together the DXF, DMG, whatever the file type needed to import into the into eCarve. No. Why are you shaking your head? No. What am I doing wrong?
Fusion, you don't have to import anything into vCarve. Fusion can do everything to vCarve. vCarve is a design and G-code producing software package.
Wait, so I can do the G-code in Fusion?
Beep, 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 beep. Hey, Josh. Hey, you do a lot of CNCs. Do you have any experience in this? What should I be doing? Yeah.
If only we had some episodes where you talked about this before too.
If only you had a step-by-step set of instructions given to you by someone who knows what they're doing.
You're laying it on pretty thick, aren't you? I get it.
I'm trying to help you.
No. I know.
Because I know your time is valuable.
And I'm very thankful. I'm very grateful.
And
One of the things about this past week is realizing that it's like I need to get better at like finding other people to make up for my weaknesses, because I'm just beating my head against the board trying to do it on my own and not having any success. That I need help. I think that's been my big thing in the past week, realizing that I need to be man enough to accept that I need help.
That's a good start. Because it makes me feel like I'm watching you struggle, and it makes me feel bad if it's in a thing I know how to do. Because then it's like you're watching, like you're standing in a pool watching someone else splash around, and you're like, looks like he's having a hard time. I wish he knew how to swim while I'm swimming. And it like makes me feel bad. Because I'm like, you have so many ideas and so many things that, like, that's the hard part. The hard part is coming up with the thing to make. Using the digital tools you have, or using them to maximize and making that time that you actually have to work on it more efficient. Like, that's the stuff I know how to do. I can't come up with the concept that you can do. And so by learning that middle part, man, and this is not to like lay it on thick, like you said, but like that, using Fusion, you could have 3D printed that thing. You set the G code on that robot. You could have set it, and yes, I know you're not supposed to walk away, but you could set it and walk away from that thing and come back, and that robot would have done it for you. The house that guy designed for you, like, you can do all of that stuff in that chair, so that on Saturday you can have that robot making a piece, you can have that robot making a piece while you were outside with exactly the number of boards that you needed with a cut list to execute the thing that you designed, saving yourself so much time and energy. And I wouldn't feel bad watching you like talk about how nothing worked, because I want to see the thing that you're doing. I want you to be successful because I'm excited about what you're doing. And then I feel like some weird de facto douche because I'm like, well, he should just know the stuff that I know.
Well, I mean,
Sucks
it's not that I haven't listened in the past when you've talked to it, but I mean, this is not my machine. You know, this is somebody else's machine. And so when they unlock the shop for me so I can go in there and work, they're like, okay, what you need to do is you need to, whatever program you use in Fusion, great. I used to use Fusion, but I use AutoCAD now. And then they go off in this whole other tangent. So what you need to do is export out of Fusion into this file and then import it into this computer over here. And then what we need to do is we need to toolpathing. That's what it's called. Then we do the toolpathing, and then you can export it from that computer over to the CNC. And so I was trusting the person that was standing in front of me, thinking that they knew better than you. But I realize now that they don't.
I don't know how loud I need to yell, hear ye, to just about everybody within range. I know what I'm talking about, or I wouldn't talk about it. That's a personal rule I have. If I don't know what I'm doing, then I shut up, and then I listen to people who do, so that I can be as smart as them. Because I don't like having my time wasted. Like, that's it.
Yeah, and see, that's the big thing.
Nuts.
Like wanting to ask somebody for help, but also not wanting to feel like I'm wasting your time. Yeah.
No, I'd like that. That's
because I know you got better things to do, and I know Wes has better things to do than try and walk me through fixing that laser cutter for the 100th time. And like I know you guys have your own things going, and I just in the past have always felt so bad about like wanting to reach out because I'm like, oh my gosh, they're probably doing something.
Donovan, you're forgetting something very important here.
Playing Minecraft.
your friends would not be offering this help if they didn't take pride in seeing you succeed.
Yeah, there it is. Yep.
That's true.
Yep.
So it's all on me. It's all in here. My own barriers to entry and all that kind of stuff. It's all in my head.
We got your back, man.
I know. Yeah. I'm letting go of it.
That Fusion course, I mean, I didn't make it because of you, but I made that course. Like, I made the outline. Bob and I put it together, and he spoke the words, and we edited it. We made that course for people like you that don't like having your time wasted. You already see the value in being able to use 3D modeling software. You just want that step-by-step instruction that you feel like you're not wasting my time. I go, okay, I made a package and I'll hand it to you so that you could get that knowledge without having to ask me a million questions. You'll have questions inevitably. That's fine. But do that walkthrough and then gain a little bit of confidence so that whenever you want to make that Majora's Mask, like the cam section, there is one toolpath that you need to highlight in Fusion. You post-process out in a list of machines and the iconic CNC, which I can help you with, but it's probably in a list. Or we can find a post-processor after the fact. And you save it, you open it in the software that the iconic reads. I don't know what actual control software that machine uses. I've never used that one in particular. And you go. Like I used to use VCarve. I used VCarve so much because that's what that was my primacy. I learned that first. So I was so resistant to learn Fusion because I knew how to do it in VCarve. And then I made my bass guitar that I played today. I designed it in Fusion. I'm like, man, this is awesome. I love it. And then I chickened out and didn't cut it in Fusion. I used easel and just cut out a straight up SVG. And now that bass is not what I want it to be because I chickened out. Like you're already doing the design work. You made a thing. Fusion can then send that thing to so many different avenues. You want it to look really, really pretty for some plans? Boom, click that button over there. You want to send to a 3D printer if you want to print Majora's Mask? Boom, push that button that way. You want to cut it out in your fancy machine? Boom, push that button over there. And again, Fusion isn't paying any of us to say any of these things. It just is a single place that has such far-reaching implications to save you so much time because you do one bit of work and then farm it out from there. And that's it. It's not going to solve your mistakes, but it will save you time in the long run by allowing you to do one job.
That's what
So
I need.
I mean, and go through that course. Like I'm proud of it, and it's helpful. And the things that I would tell you, a lot of the basic stuff is covered in that course. So you can slow it down, speed it up, rewind it as fast or as slow as you want to.
I forgot where you sent it because I feel like I've tried looking for it and I can't find it. It's there somewhere. I know it's like right in front of me.
Okay. Nope.
But I
gotcha. And for everybody else that is listening who is interested in this Fusion 360 course, here's a shameless plug. It will be available to the masses, I think next Monday. Next week sometime we're doing like a video launch and we'll have the URL and people can take it. It's like, I think we tallied it all up. It's 4 hours of online content of like one-on-one video instruction. So if I post something in the chat here, no one else can see it, right? Except the four of us.
Well, except everybody watching in the live feed.
It might push the
Disregard.
window to
See
the
it
side.
pop up.
Share it in Slack.
Don't disregard. I got it. I'll figure it out. I'm smart. Kind of.
I missed you guys. It's been a long week. I'm glad I can hang out with you every Thursday. 8:30 and 9:30 Eastern.
Nope. Anyway.
I feel like he's about to say something meaningful, but
No,
There.
all I was gonna say was, this has been my guys' night out every Thursday for the last 4 years.
Right?
Because I swear
true.
I don't see people in real life, unless it's this or Maker Faire. I don't really see anybody in face to face, just because of schedules and everything else.
Outside of your work mates, right?
I don't have workmates.
Teacher's
I'm
lounge
not-
must be real awkward.
Mm-hmm.
You
I'm not
spinning
friends with
off
any
on the wall by
teachers.
yourself.
No, you're not?
No. Other teachers, artists, I've never made connections quite that way. Nope.
I get it. I understand. I feel that way at work a lot. Especially lately, because, oh my gosh. Oh. With everything going on, not only in the country, but like here in Oklahoma.
Uh-huh.
Because Trump is coming to Tulsa this weekend.
Yep.
And there are so many. I'm the left winger of the company now. They're like, I want to talk liberal stuff. You can go talk Donovan because he's one of those lefty people.
Why would you even let that be known?
It's people express their opinions and I express mine, and they're like, yeah, we differ on a lot of things.
I make it a policy to never talk about stuff like that at work. People have no idea what my stances are on things. Besides the fact that I'm not even allowed to.
Because, given the nature of my job and the fact that I do IT stuff and it's hands-on, and so talking with people, part of Southern hospitality is you have to build a relationship and a rapport. I can't just go in there and fix the thing and leave. I have to go in there and talk about their kids, how their weekend was, this, that, and the other, and then fix the thing, and then I can leave. Because if I just go in there and fix the thing and then leave, everybody thinks I'm rude and they don't like me. But then again, talking, I find out
right.
that I don't share their same views and they don't like me. So it's a lose-lose. So.
It's their loss.
I know, right? But I'm glad I have this respite from everything of the week to come hang out with you guys. I may have pictures of an orange glow in the horizon from this weekend when everything's on fire to share.
That's not the orange glow I was thinking of.
Oh, no. Yeah.
Cheeto dust.
That's funny. Yeah, I'm actually kind of afraid. I'm kind of afraid what's going to happen this weekend. Today has not been a good day. Emotionally, I've been everything just hit me. And I've been so depressed all day today. I was like, oh my gosh, everything going on. Can't finish work.
Minecraft wasn't helping, huh?
Oh.
Wes was telling.
I don't curse. Just as a personality.
It helps a lot sometimes.
I don't curse.
Sometimes.
But oh my gosh, in my mind, I screamed. I screamed so loud at the screen.
Did you scream a curse word?
I thought it.
Then you said it.
You know the cartoon curse words that use all the wingdings and stuff? He basically typed all that for 5 minutes on Minecraft.
That stupid game. I don't know why I'm so invested in this game where I struggle and spend time and mine and do all this other kind of stuff to earn things, to build things and craft them, to die and lose everything. Oh, it's so infuriating.
Bob has these same woes. If we have a little bit of downtime, we all kind of hop on Minecraft, and usually he and Anthony have more time to do that than I do. And I constantly hear Bob just get mad and yell at the game. And again, he doesn't curse either, but he just yells at it. And he's like, I hate this game. And then he sits down and plays it again. And then you hear just tick, 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 and then Bob has died. And we have the leaderboard in the I Like to Make Stuff server. So it's it tallies up how many times somebody has died. And the gameplay, I forgot how long the gameplay was, but Bob has died 93 times. When I think the next highest person was 20 something, and that was probably me. But he constantly goes, why do I play this game? Why in the world do I spend my time playing this game?
Exactly,
and then he sits down and plays it some more.
Oh, terrible. And it's so cool. I found this because I lost my wings. I lost everything because I was trying to be adventurous and go explore and do the West thing where you go and you find something cool and then bring it back. I wanted to go do that. So I'm like, yay, let's go explore. And I went to explore and I died. And I'm like, I need to go find my stuff. So I went to try and go find my stuff. And on the way of trying to find my stuff to recover everything that I'd spent so much time and energy, crafting and building and whatnot, I found this broken up ship, and in the ship there were boots that literally let you walk on water. It is the coolest thing. The coolest thing. I'm like, this is awesome. A mermaid comes and harpoons me in the face, lose everything again. And I'm screaming, why do I play this game? Do you want to continue? Yes.
Now imagine if that were an arcade game and how many quarters you would have used.
Yeah.
So you start punching the machine or kicking it and get kicked out of the arcade.
Shove your $20 bill in the machine.
Yep. See, and it's that sentiment where like it's a feast and then immediate famine, kind of up and down spike in that game, to where I found out I have the rights to just like give myself stuff. Anthony showed me that, and so I can do a little give command and I can just pick whatever I want to. And they laugh at me because Anthony does it every once in a while. That's where I figured out how to do it. And Bob will like quit cheating over his shoulder. And so now, like I was doing an underwater temple and I died a whole mess of times. Can never find my stuff again. So as soon as I end up on land right offshore, I'm like diamond breastplate, diamond boots, diamond this, or like quit. And then Anthony will like spam my inventory with a whole bunch of the like meat, the whatever rotten meat, whenever he sees that I'm doing that. And I'm like, I don't care. It's the same thing. Like I can mine for a week and find a bajillion diamonds, and then a stupid green phallic looking thingy blows me up and all my stuff is gone. I don't feel all that bad with like, well, you took it really quick, so why can't I just reclaim it really quick and carry on about my game?
Yeah.
And I get it. It's there on purpose, but
when you don't have that power, it's a lot different experience.
Yeah, you gotta get that power.
Especially with the wings. The wings change everything until you lose them. And then you gotta walk. And then you find boots that can make you walk on water, and then you lose them. And then you're back to walking again.
I think I'm gonna give myself some wings and some rockets now because and they're like, quit cheating. I'm like, tell me right now you don't know up, up, down, down, left, right, A, B, select, start. Like, that's a cheat code. So don't tell me that I'm cheating, like it's a bad thing. I'm using the resources at hand. I have a game genie, and you don't. Ooh. So I'm going to take advantage of it.
Game genie. Those were the days.
But then Anthony gives me crap about it, and then I do the like, it was you, all right. I learned it by watching you, kind of thing.
Man, not a lot of people get that reference.
You can't form like too many attachments with the stuff you find because it's an easy come, easy go kind of deal.
Some of Wes is sick. I've never died.
Yes, you did. I watched Wes die. It was sad. Wes got killed by a witch while he walked away from his computer, and
that was the first time I died in weeks.
Standing there getting bombarded, and there was nothing I could do to save him because I died.
Wow.
He and I were standing beside each other. I walk away to like Samantha needed something. I come back and it says, "You have died." I'm like, "What?" I respawn. He's like, "Oh yeah, a witch killed you." I'm like, "Why didn't you defend me or kill it?"
Because she killed me first. He and I were standing next to each other doing something, and I heard the witch cackle, and I turned around, and I was like shooting her with arrows, and I was like, "Ha, dummy!" And then she ran really fast and started throwing potion bottles at me. And as I was running away, I didn't realize I was running toward Wes in my retreat.
This is the detail I've never had before. Yes.
And then like the red screen pops up, and you can kind of see through it as a spectator. And Wes is just standing there, not moving because he's not at his keyboard. And she just unloads all these potion bottles at him and walks off triumphant. I'm like, well, there's nothing I can do. It was funny, but there was nothing I could do.
Decisions have been made.
Yep. Oh boy.
All right. So, what are you guys geeking out about?
Now that I'm here, let's end this thing.
That's right.
I get it.
I'm geeking out. I'm going to give kind of a shout out to somebody. I've been inspired by this Maker recently. Some of you might have seen this stuff. It goes by Route 9 Signs on Instagram and YouTube. And I don't know, I've just become a really big fan of his work in doing like these miniature signs that just look really cool. A lot of the old kind of Americana, or I think that the style's called like Googie or something, but like, things you'd find like around like, Route 66 and stuff like that. He's done a couple like Disneyland signs, and I think it's inspiration for a lot of the types of projects I'm going to be taking on in the near future that I'm trying to kind of prep for right now. Instead of building bigger things, I might just start building smaller things. I kind of like the idea of building smaller models and stuff right now. So that's what I'm geeking out about. So check him out if you haven't seen his stuff before. It's got some cool things on there.
My Snapship order of the brand new finalized version should be here tomorrow. So that was my Father's Day gift to myself, so me and the kiddos can play with Snapships. So when I get them and I bust them open, I'll be able to give a full in-depth review. Man, that'll be fun. Like we talked about the 3D printed prototypey ones, and now like come full circle to the finalized ones.
And we're still here.
And yeah, Father's Day is this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Totally forgot.
I have to do yard work.
It's not my job to remember, but totally forgot.
Now you can guilt trip others when they forget. That's the real power of being a dad.
That's right.
Man, so I've been watching Jack Conte. If you don't know, he's the guy. He was one half of Pomplamoose, which my wife and I love listening to that music. It is so fun. And he started Patreon, like the company, and so he every now and then he'll put out what's called Jack Conte extras, and I haven't watched many just because they haven't been showing up on my feed, even though I'm subscribed to the channel. But one finally showed up, and I've been binge watching a lot of his videos the last couple of days. And there was one that was really, really good, where he talks about there's a difference between what people will watch because it's free and what people will pay for. And you need to focus on making content that people will pay for rather than content that people will just watch because it's free. Because in terms of like, Patreon, you want to find patrons, people that want to support you, that want to pay to, not pay to watch what you make because it's free anyway, but that are so inspired by what you do that they want to pay to see more of it being done. And I've gotten a couple new patrons the last couple weeks. Don't know how, haven't put out a video in like 2 months, but it just, with the combination of everything else going on, I realized it's like how appreciative I am of people that for no reason other than like a little downloadable file and, watching me make a fool of myself on videos, wants to help support that cause. And it's just it's humbling and really cool that there are people out there that like you and what you do enough that they want to pay for your content, not because it's free, but because they'd pay for it if they had to. And it's cool. So I've been geeking out about my patrons.
Myself, this week I got a item in the mail that I had mentioned a couple podcast recordings ago, I believe, regarding Mega Man games. I'm pretty sure I mentioned it. I have 2 out of the 3 Mega Man platforming games. Mega Man X1, I have that. Mega Man X2, and I lacked Mega Man X3. And one of our listeners, Matthew, who is a wannabe maker, he happened to have Mega Man X3.
Really?
Yeah. And he's like, hey, I'll sell it to you. And I'm like, all right. I'd much rather pay someone that I know / internet know, which is good enough in my book, versus like a rando person on eBay that it could be a counterfeit copy, because those exist. And he even built a custom box for it and sent it to me. It's like, I'll post on my Instagram tomorrow. I'm going to have them all aligned with each other. And when I purchased it, the intention was just for me to complete my collection. But then subsequently, Catherine found out about this purchase, and she sort of commandeered it as the Father's Day gift. So Yeah, that's a clever trick there after being married for almost 20 years. That kind of stuff happens, but that's all right. I'm excited to have that one in the collection. I have not fired it up yet. I'm looking forward to. Maybe I'll do a Twitch stream where I try to play it. That might be kind of fun.
That's probably my favorite Mega Man game.
Yep.
Is X3.
X3? I've yet to play it.
Yeah. Oh, so good.
Yeah, so I'm excited about that. So thanks, Matthew. Appreciate it.
Very cool. Well, if you didn't know, we have a website, makergeeks.com. If you'd like to get in contact with us through the site, there's a contact page where you can do that. And if you like listening to your podcast in your browser, on the homepage of the site, you can listen to all of our past episodes there at makergeeks.com.
And if you didn't know before, you'll know after I'm done saying it. We are all on social media. So if you want to see the stuff that we're building behind the scenes or in front of the scenes, whatever, if you want to come talk to us individually, you can come find us. Sean is found at Geek Builders. Wes is found at Geeksmithing. Josh is found at Josh_makes_stuff. And I am found at Once Upon a Workbench. Pause for laughs.
I'm getting there. Pause for laughs. That's right. And I'd like to thank our patrons over at patreon.com/makinggeeks for helping us keep the show on the air with their financial contributions every time we release an episode. I definitely just want to say thank you to each and every one of you, especially our top patrons, who actually reviewed our patron rewards and our stipulation for it was never the top patron. It was whoever has a $10 level gets a shout out. And I didn't realize that. So, Clinton, you have never lost your position as being shouted out. You were always to be included. So, Clint from C3 Prop Shop, thank you so much for your support. Jordan, which is a new supporter for $10 a month. Sorry, $10 an episode. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate your support. And Square Splinter, who is the top patron at $11 an episode, which is awesome. Thank you so much, buddy.
That's fantastic. Yeah, thank you to everybody who makes this show possible. People who not only support through Patreon, but just who listen and who download the show and let us be a part of your life with our silly 4-year now rantings on various topics, from being a dad, being a maker, and being a geek. We appreciate you. And if you want to be a part of this conversation, like Wes alluded to earlier, you can hang out with us in the YouTube live chat. We post this episode as we are recording every Thursday around 9:30 Eastern Standard Time in the United States. But that's on youtube.com/Making Geeks Podcast, I believe. And if not, you can hear the podcast on your podcast player of choice whenever it arrives, usually tomorrow, Friday, Saturday-ish. Sean's a busy guy. Cut him some slack. But from all of us to all of you, we hope you have a fantastic week.
Thank you all.
Have a good one.
Take care of yourself.